Hello friends, in this lesson we are going to study loops in Apex. So what are loops? Loops are used when a particular piece of code should be repeated with the desired number of iterations. Apex supports the standard traditional for loop as well as other advanced types of loops. In this chapter we will discuss in details about the loops in Apex. A loop statement allows us to execute a statement of group statement multiple times, and following is the general form from of a loop statement in most of the program languages. Loops are like a cycle, It's just when it executes, then the code meets this condition, and then again it will iterate, it will execute, and then until it is false. When it is false, and it will stop executing. So there are basically three types of loops. So do, while, and for. For has three types of loops. So each has, they do most of them, like they do almost same function, like do, while, and for, but there are some slight changes. So there are some operation you can do both with all of them. Some of them you can do some certain loops, not all. So the first one, do while loop. Apex do while loop repeatedly executes a block of code as long as the particular Boolean condition remains true. The syntax is that the first, like do and open the curly braces code, it is compulsory to use the curly braces, always is required around the block, code block. So in do while, first we have, we initialize integer count assigned to 0, and then do what? System debug count. It will take 0, and then after it will add 1. So let's see this one on developer console, and just open our developer console. And open anonymous window. That's to make it. See, this is our do while loop. Let's execute it. It's start from 0, 1, 2, 3 until 14. As you can see in our anonymous window, it starts from 0. It first takes 0, and then it counts for the next. Takes 0 on developer console, we see it, and then count will be 0 plus 1 because it's an increment, and then while count less than 15. So now it is 1, and then it will count, will come here 1. Again it will take 1, and then will be 2 here, and then 2 is meeting, again it's going. So do is a bit different from while because it takes first this value, initial value. You will see the difference between the while and loop, do while loop. So it first does something like do system debug count, takes 0 value on developer console, and then add 1, and then 1 is matching here, and then it goes back, and this cycle continues until when? Until 14, because count when it is 14, it will come here 14, and if it takes 14 here, then becomes 15 here. 15 doesn't match, so 15 will not appear in the developer console. But its do while loop is a little slight different from while, we will see, because it takes for initial value and then after it increases. So let's go back to our code. The while loop has, initial value we write at the top, like and then condition and code block, like integer count. Yeah, we initialize the count with 0, and then we do what we do while count, like count is less than 15, 0 is less than 15, and then it will be 0. And then let's again see the difference between the while and this is our while loop. Just highlight this one, otherwise it will be problem, and debug only. As you can see, it start from 0 to 14, right? What happens here? Its count will be 0, and then 0 is less than 15. Yes, it is fine. It in while it checks first condition, but here it doesn't check condition. It appears on developer console, then it checks condition. But while loop, it first checks condition, and then if it's yes, count is 0, it will appear in the developer console, and then it will add 1. But here in do while loop, it does not control condition. It directly, appears on developer console after it checks the condition, as you can see here, but the result is same. Okay, just the checking condition is different. The traditional for loop we divided into 3 parts. The first one is traditional one. Traditional one is for, we write the keyword for, and then initialize statement, exit condition, and increment. As you can see, let's copy this our code in our developer console and see. This will be our traditional for loop. And copy. As you can see, for loop keyword we write, and then in parentheses we start with initialize the value, and then we say e is equals to, or we can take only one value. We don't need to take j. Okay. As you can see, for loop, it first one checks, it initialize value, and then it checks condition, and then increment. First one, what is 0? 0 less than 15, yes. And then on developer console, what will appear? It will be, let's see, and 20. We have missed something here. Okay, that's so it must be semicolon. So for loop is slightly a bit different from while loop. You will see the difference. For here the initialize value is 0, and it checks the condition, yes, 0 is less than 15, and then it will be printing I will be what? Will be 1. 0 plus 1, we increment is 1, as you can see, and then in system debug, increment plus 1, it will I is 0 plus 1 will be 1. So let's execute this code and see the developer console, debug it. Only it starts from 1 to 15. As you can see, 14 will, the first one, last number will be 14 because 15 can't be here. So in this loop, if I is 14 and then it will come here, will be 15. So if I is 14 and then plus 1 will be 15, and the last value for in this loop, it will be 15, as you can see in our developer console. The other type is we can have loop list and set in loops. How? For keyword, variable name, list or set. The example here, we can do this one just to save time. For this, we have integer array and my integer numbers equals to new keyword integer, and then we have array and we have our this list, right? 1 to 5. So if you want to have this number in for loop we use this integer. It has to be same name with this data type with this one, and this is our variable name, and then colon and my list name. So it will start from 1, it will take 1 and then debug it 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's execute it. What will we will see only debug only. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it in this way, we can have our list, and then we can use for loop by writing the data type and variable name and then name of the list. In this list, I will be, data type, it will take one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that way. So we will have all these numbers in our developer console, in our for loop. And then last one in this, we can use also circle, queries in for loops. How? The syntax for SQL for loop is either, for variable and then our SQL and then code block. Let's see in our how it works. Developer console. Creating a list of account records from SQL. This is normal way to create a list, right? List, account name as object, and then name of the list. And then in this list, what we are going to have, we are going to find out, like select ID name from account, where name is equals to Nasir. But we have to check if we have my name here. Go to account and then check account what we have. Let's check all accounts. Do we have Nasir here? It seems we don't have. What we have Abdul Nasir, right? Abdul Nasir. We have Abdul Nasir. Just see it is same. Abdul Nasir, yes. So it will take the list, all how many Nasir we have there, Abdul Nasir, loop through the list and update the name field. And then by using for loop, we have to use the same as objects, name, and then list. In this list, how many are there? And then we find for each, and then in name, we update Oracle. So update the database accounts. Let's see, execute this one. We can use I think now we can just update it. As you can see, my name gone and then became Oracle. So what happened here? What the developer console did? It created a list of accounts which has the name with this SOQL, which has the name of Abdul Nasir, and then loop through the list and update the name field. It got the each, if we have more than 5 or 10 or more than one Nasir, then account as objects, the name of variable, then name of this SOQL. And then we update, this each account A and the name of the account and with Oracle. And then update accounts, account this list, update this list. This is our list. So in this way we can update the accounts in our developer and our org. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best. Have a good day. I hope you learned something new today.